The emergence of Turkish drones in Donbass in eastern Ukraine isn't giving Moscow anything to be enthusiastic about, Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryabkov said on Tuesday, April 13, 2021. Obviously, there can hardly be anything to rejoice about given that Turkish drones are surfacing somewhere in Donbass. He said, Turkish exports to various countries are a serious issue. Ankara buys something from Russia and ship their products elsewhere. Corresponding arrangements exist, including export controls where all these things are discussed. The Bayraktar TB2, known popularly as Pantsir-hunter, is a medium-altitude, long-range tactical unmanned aircraft system. This type of unmanned aircraft system are ready to do thousands of combat flight hours from North Africa to the Caucasus. 2 years earlier, the Armed Forces of Ukraine has received into service its first Bayraktar TB2 armed unmanned aerial vehicles. In addition, earlier in October 2020, a pair reported that Ukraine is negotiating to buy additional 48 Bayraktar TB2 drones from Turkey. Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryabkov warned Turkey about sending unmanned aircraft system to Ukraine, saying Turkey should refrain from provoking in Ukraine. Russia is very afraid of the appearance of these drones, as they showed excellent results in the fight against modern Russian-made air defense systems. The portfolio of the Turkish Hunter killer drone contains more than a dozen of Pantsir-hunter OSA systems and 100 tanks and armored personnel carriers. While the Bayraktar TB2 was developed by the defense industry firm Bayraktar, the impetus to create a domestically produced drone was driven by the U.S. military embargo in 1975, and Washington's reluctance to sell the country its advanced Predator and Reaper drones. Turkey bought Heron drones from Israel, but found that relationship problematic as well. Drones are, however, not that hard to manufacture, and the most recent Turkish ones are quite impressive. The TB2 can stay aloft for 24 hours, and can perform both reconnaissance and attack missions within a radius of 150 km. The effectiveness of these weapons was first demonstrated beyond Turkey borders in Syria in March 2020, where in retaliation for a Russian-backed Syrian attack that killed 36 Turkish soldiers, Ankara launched a devastating attack on Syrian armored forces that were moving into Idlib province along the Turkish border. Video footage showed them destroying one Syrian armored vehicle after another, including more than 100 tanks, armored personnel carriers, and air defense systems. The Syrian offensive was brought to a complete halt, and Idlib province secured as a haven for refugees. Then in May, Turkish drones were used to attack an air base in Libya used by UAE-backed Libyan National Army of General Khalifa Haftar, which ended the LNA offensive against Tripoli. Finally, during the Nagorno-Karabakh war in September, Turkish drones intervening for Azerbaijan against Armenia destroyed an estimated 200 tanks, 90 other armored vehicles, and 182 artillery pieces. In comparison, Azerbaijan lost 38 tanks, finally forcing Armenia to withdraw from the area. It seems that Turkey's use of drones is going to change the nature of land power in ways that will undermine existing force structures, in the way that the dreadnought obsoleted earlier classes of battleships, or the aircraft carrier made battleships themselves obsolete at the beginning of World War II. Combined arms land forces of the sort that defeated Iraq twice in the 1991 and 2003 Gulf Wars are built around tanks, whose primacy was due to the fact that for many years, only a tank could destroy another tank. One of the little-known facts about the 1967 Middle East War was that only a couple of Egyptian tanks were killed from the air in Israel's massive opening airstrike, because it was too difficult to hit so small a target with an airplane. In the intervening years, precision-guided munitions began to proliferate, making the targeting of tanks much easier, but they still required expensive platforms like the A-10 close support attack aircraft, which in turn necessitated expensive air defenses to operate against a sophisticated opponent. Drones have now changed this picture substantially because they are relatively cheap, hard to defeat, and don't risk the lives of human pilots. Militaries around the world are scrambling now to figure out how to defend themselves against drones, and it is not clear who will win the arms race between drones and drone countermeasures. But it is possible that the world saw its last massive tank battle during the 2003 Iraq War. Earlier this month, Ben Wallace, Britain's Defence Secretary, frankly said that the TB2 drones and the accompanying ammunition combined technical capabilities, meaning their commanders could tolerate some friction while presenting a real challenge to the enemy. The UK military is expected to embark on a new armed drone program in response to Azerbaijan's controversial use of the technology in its victory over Armenia in the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict. Ministry of Defense sources added that the UK wanted to procure its own cheaper drones. The TB2 drones cost as little as $1 million TL. $2 million each according to analyst estimates, far less than the near $20 million per drone paid by the British military for a fleet of 16 high-end, next-generation Protector drones manufactured by US specialist General Atomics.